Oh dear, in view of the last recording, I must assure you that there's no way I wish to stop recording. There is, as far as I know, no end to this universe. It's a place of birth and death. Physical birth and death, yes. But it's not a place that has a death in itself. It's an eternal school. And the kids are eternally what they are, and the lessons are much the same. We try and update them, but the staff are a bit set in their ways, you know. There will always be good and evil here to teach us. Always children here. New life for the kingdom of heaven. That come to learn, but truly come to graduate. That's the mission of the school. It is to teach the children that they become wonderful children of God and therefore adults in the kingdom of heaven. Pictured from the child's point of view as this lovely heavenly family with God as dad. Depends what sort of childhood you've had, good or bad. How you picture this. I had a very loving mum who probably wasn't that good, really. I had a dad who was cast in the role of being villain. But it was pretty good, really. Result, I've still got some view of what heaven might be like. Some view of what a perfect family could be. Loving parents, love each other, and love the kids. The tragedy of life here, the lesson that we learn, is very often that one or both of the parents do love the kids, but they don't necessarily love each other. That's a great sadness to us, because it's a great cost. A terrible cost. But my emotion is not appropriate. My trust in God is. For in trust is hope. We live in hope. You cannot, will not rather, lift your arm or a finger except you anticipate the hopeful that you will achieve what you want by doing so. And where does hope come from? It comes from appreciating all the goodness that you've been given. Life itself in the universe that you see itself. So you know the way to heaven. Nothing to do with religion. It's to do with appreciating all the goodness that is around you, and in consequence wanting God to exist. I choose to believe he exists because this is what I want. It is who I am. It is what I value. I am a child of God, and therefore must come to maturity in heaven because of who my parents are. God, Dad if you like, Mum if you want. Doesn't matter. What matters is what Jesus actually seems to say. I've called you friends because I've told you all things that my Father has given me. It is, in short, the friendship of your God that you seek. But you have it because your God necessarily is the personification of what you value. How could you not be friends with the personification of what you value? That would be an absurdity. It's what value is. Valuing. I am come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Do you really have some other guest that you would prefer entertaining? You must be mad. You want death. Oh my goodness. You can experience that long here in this universe. An insidious loss of life, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, even decades, until there's some merciful release of death. And another shot, perhaps. Well, all the other religions seem to think this anyway. How many incarnations like this do you fancy? Few, I would have thought. None, really. I'd like to exit now. Well, you won't want to exit now, really. Now just hang on a minute. Practice trusting your God. You'll be okay. Thank you, Dad. Yes, I meant you won't want to actually exit now because most of us have this view of self, and self has an incredible propensity to preserve itself. Thank goodness God's given us this key to being here in this universe, an incredible dominance of the conception of self, which something like the Buddhist faith think is totally unreasonable. But then they don't believe in God, do they? Look, if you value life, then you value God, because if you personify what you value, it will include a value of life. Is God of the living God, as some of the scripture says. Most people that are still alive still value life here, although it might seem destitute of joy. They're longing for life that has joy in it. Well, if that's what you value, that's part of what you personify in your God. Thank goodness for that. And literally thank goodness for that. Thank God for that. That you do have this will for life. But you wouldn't get to heaven otherwise, which is why He's given it to you. So we do not condemn self. We might criticize ourselves for not being more embracing of others. Ah, yes. But we don't destroy self where we don't care what happens to ourselves or others. Oh my goodness, no. That's not what we want. Well, most of us anyway. And those that do want such are presumably going to stay here a lot longer to find out the consequence of such. Well, perhaps not a lot longer. I hope not. Enough of this. I want to get on with my day. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.